Blessed be, welcome to Astro Psych. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to talk today for just a few minutes about a transit that's occurring in the sky with Venus, Jupiter, and Chiron, and the opportunities that are sitting there for us over the next few days to really take a look at some healing that is being called to our attention and quite hidden, as Venus is in the 12th house and Chiron is in the 4th, and in the 7th house, a square from the 4th to the 7th is Jupiter in retrograde with our partnerships. So, hey, let's take a quick look at this and see if we can't break it down and make it a little more clear. Okay, so I just want to point out to you these positions again as you see the chart in front of you. This was at 9:23 this morning out of Huddleston, Virginia, which is near Lynchburg, Eastern Standard Time. And what it reveals is the 22-degree Chiron in retrograde in the 4th is squaring exact the 22-degree Jupiter in the 7th house in retrograde. And it is inconjuncting Jupiter. It's called an inconjunct 150 degrees, exact back over to Venus in Sagittarius at 22 degrees, exact, of course, in the 12th house. So the morning sky and day was opening up with us taking a look at two of the most intimate houses, with 8, of course, as well, in the zodiac wheel, originally ruled by water, with the 4th being Cancer's home, dealing with 4th house themes of the moon, the mother, ancestry, heritage, and then you have the 7th house ruled by Libra and Venus. And of course, Cancer's there. And you have this moon hitting this house, originally ruled by Libra and Venus, which would be a waxing and waning in all things Venus, all things relationship. But you see, Jupiter's in retrograde holding, reviewing, and holding the position of fullness and wanting to make some things very large and open to you and beneficial in the way that your home is being squared, Chiron, ouch, in the home with Aries, being squared at the 7th house of partnerships, enemies, intimate relationships, business relationships, all things people other than yourself in close relationship. Then you have the 12th house, originally ruled by Pisces, with Neptune and Jupiter as Lord. At 22 degrees is Venus. Now, what I want you to also notice here, well, let me just share the 150 degree. That is a degree that they have nothing in common by way of sign, by way of modality, and by way of house. So it's a blind spot, a huge blind spot where two planets are roughly 150 degrees apart. This is exact 150. And the planets and the points involved here that are hitting, they do not understand each other. They're from a different mentality. So there's a need of a redirecting and a requiring of adjustments, either by diverting or by challenging. And that would, be how this shows up in your own house in the storyline that it's speaking. But this is really a, once in a lifetime kind of moment where we see these configurations line up and they tell just this unique story. So let's go in a little deeper into that story real quickly, and also into the master builder number 22, which is what 22 reduces to 4, which is the master builder number. So we want to take a look at all the symbology behind that and what that means to us. Okay, so Venus is trining at 120 degrees Chiron, or Chiron's trining Venus. This is a harmonious connection that represents Venus, love, relationships, values, partnerships, and Chiron, the wounded healer, our childhood wounds. So this is suggesting that the way that we do home and relationships goes back to some type of childhood wound that goes back to your roots. And there is a real opportunity as Jupiter makes this large and bigger and holds it in retrograde. The great benefic shows up, jovial Jupiter, to heal and to offer help and beneficial energies. And you'll find that if you focus on this and you work with this energy, that you will see that solutions are going to be coming to you as you make it obvious with your own energy and you choose to work with the energies that are out there in this harmonious trine. When this occurs in 4th and 12th houses, these themes are real poignant because 4th deals with home and family and emotional foundations, and the 12th relates to subconscious realms, healing, and the hidden aspects of ourself. The 12th is in the quadrant 4 of social expression. This has to do with the way that we're coming out from that portal and we are sending our energies out into the world. It's a cadent house, which means it's mutable, which means it exchanges energy. So how are you exchanging your energies, Venus? And who are you exchanging them with? And tie it back to those choices of partnership and the way you act in partnership, even more specifically, because it's in this, we've got Jupiter in the 7th house with Cancer, and how maybe you are carrying some of that into your present day relationship, these wounds of Chiron, okay? Because this configuration could manifest as that deep need for healing, but also a need for this capacity to bring compassion and healing to hidden wounds. And this is going to foster this personal growth is where I'm going. It's all about growing and expansion with Jupiter and deeper self-acceptance here of, hey, this is just the way it is, and not all relationships are going to be okay, and that has to be okay. And I should just, go where my energy is reciprocated and respected, and my ideas are welcome, and where I'm also welcoming ideas. This is huge. The 7th house is cardinal and it's air. It's moving out. In Aries, down in the home, family, psychological roots, wants to move out. And his Lord is Mars, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's talk about this square between Chiron and Jupiter from the 4th to the 7th. We have the quadrant 2 of personal expansion, houses 4 and 6, where 4, 5, and 6, we're beginning to really move out in who we are and develop a personhood, a personality that can show up and serve and work and be of benefit to others and to yourself. The 7th house is above the horizon. It comes out of the daytime, and it's the place at night where you actually go down to the nighttime. So it's the descending, and it's committed relationships and partnerships in a highly active house, an angular house, along with 1, 4, 7, and 10, all angular houses. So 4 is also very active. 4 being active with 7 being active, it's 2 different ways of approaching. The square is 2 different ways of approaching commitment. Houses 7 through 9 is quadrant 3 of social identity. So it's where you're exchanging socially, not just in the home now, but with others in a public way. It's seen. Okay, this is part of the daytime chart. So the square can present challenges in placing your personal desires, values, Venus, with partnership needs. And there might be a tendency to be very unrealistic, and this is coming out in that there needs to be an understanding that Venus and Sag wants freedom and expansion. You know, it doesn't want to be locked in. It wants to be able to move out. And when it's not able to do that, and it's in a 150-degree angle with that 7th house exact, right, in Jupiter, opportunities there, but there's also a place where you've been making the small things big, okay, and the big things small. So there's a need to look at your most private ancestral roots in your public relational world. And I want to talk about the 22nd degree in closing. And the 22nd degree is a master number, and a master number has more power and more ability to move out because it is a master. It has learned and it has grown up through the numbers. So it represents this ability to really manifest things into into physical and physical reality. But it's taking your spiritual dreams, that which is in the 12th, where Venus is the highest imagination house, where Neptune lives and Jupiter. It's saying, hey, take your ideals, the things you've been foggy about and not seeing clearly and having disillusion about and taking things out way too far than they should be. And let's start putting some practical boundaries around them. And let's build 4 legs to a table. Number 4, 22 reduces to 4. 4 is the Emperor. And the Emperor is Aries himself, where he is very interested in the Smith-Waite Tarot in being established and having boundaries the way that they should be. The Emperor is our personal power and stability, in our structural authority, and our responsibility. And that is his focus. And he's using structure and boundaries to achieve his goals. Well, I tell you what, not always easy when we've got all these planets in water, is it? We've got Saturn and Pisces moving forward now, thank the gods and goddesses, in water, but it's moving towards Aries, not there yet. And then we've got Jupiter in lockdown in Cancer. So we've got a lot of water energies with the North Node in Pisces. This is a lot of emotional energy that is now calling to be healed and to build structure. And that is going to require you to work hard, and to manifest isn't easy. We have to have a plan and a blueprint. And so we're looking to this in the 7th house, committed relationships, in the house 12th with Venus, secret and hidden things, back down to the 4th, home, family, psychological roots, with the wounded healer Chiron down in the 4th, that represents wounds from childhood. We also have a square. It's not a approaching square because the nodes are, well, I apologize. Yes, it is. When the nodes are in retrograde, they're moving forward, not backwards, because they move backward naturally. So the nodes are approaching all of this Mercury and Moon and Venus and Sun energy there. You can see all that grouped together in the stellium. That's a lot of energy in the 12th for Sagittarius to be in. And it is not in a comfortable relationship. It is squaring. It is not a tight square, but it's squaring. And that would not feel comfortable at all. Because it develops in the South Node with Virgo this critical and pedantic attitude that it can cause rifts between you and others. And, at the time of this reading, the South Node was in the 9th house. So this is ideologies about what your bigger beliefs are and your rules and how you structure your philosophy in life. So it's not easy here. And the Sabian symbol for that 13th degree of Virgo squaring all this energy over there in the 12th is the sorcerer's apprentice lets loose a spell that causes all hell to break loose. When the master magician returns, he uses his wand to put everything back in its rightful place. So it isn't that you stop doing magic. It isn't that you stop being the apprentice. It isn't that you throw your hands up and fall into these old patterns of the wounded healer, and victimization and not wanting to take your own power and use it. No, it's just saying, hey, you needed the master to come in for a minute. Jupiter is the master guru, by the way, ruling over religions and spirituality up there in that 9th house, ruling over Pisces in the 12th. Okay, the Lord Jupiter represents that whether he's there or not, and Jupiter rules over Sagittarius, I might add. That is Jupiter is main spot there in the 9th in Sag. So we've got a lot of Jupiter speaking. Now here's the deeper description of this symbol for 13 degrees of Virgo South Node. Learning how to use political, sexual, or occult power, understanding the operic factors in one's situation, and seizing control versus losing one's grip on what's happening or overestimating the actual extent of one's power. Exercising control over one's desires and imaginative images attached to these desires versus letting these desires lead a quasi-independent existence subconsciously draws all sorts of crazy people and situations to themselves. Defeating evil forces at work in one's environment, acting boldly and decisively to bring order to an unstructured situation. Control freaks, but have a clear idea of where things should end up. Charismatic sexual presence. The unusual potency of those who have achieved psychological and sexual self-mastery, power struggles. So see, you've not yet arrived and you're not where you were, okay? And it's something that you've just got to see here. It's in a sextile, this South Node, back over to Scorpio, the midheaven, in the 11th house. The midheaven doesn't always fall on the 10th house cusp. It depends on the chart and the sky at the moment. And here we see a very late degree midheaven over there in the 11th house. Scorpio sitting there, which means we bring in Pluto, which means we bring in Mars, which means we bring in Uranus because it rules that house, which means we bring in Saturn. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That's not easy energy in the greater collective. And it's in the decan of the sun, the MC, which means it's personal to your personal willpower, your personal magnetism, and the soul itself. You are the soul. We are the souls. And so the collective soul is speaking here to individual souls that this is the theme of what's going on. Let's look at Mars here is moved out of that 12th house and is very aggressive in Capricorn. We've got Mars and Earth in a cardinal sign in a cardinal house, and it's in the decan of Jupiter. Hear me now. The beneficial energy is go to Jupiter. Know that you have it. Know that you have beneficial energy. Call upon the beneficial energy. Call it down from the heavens. Call it from ether into your presence. Vibrate the energy you should then emulate, you should then reciprocally receive as you move forward in your own work. Mars and Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, works very, very hard. Very hard. This is not quitting till you get it right. And there is the part of fortune at 8 degrees, tucked right next to Mars. Mars is going to go right through it, not in retrograde, plowing right through your fortune in your favor. And the part of fortune is a place in your chart where if you look at it, you put energy into that spot and you manage it, you could have favor and fortune come out of it. It is one of the lots, Arabian lots, that you can look into those. And there's many parts of fortunes. It's very, very fortunate position. Now, where is it going to help you? Oh my goodness, in earth energy. What have we been talking about? Manifesting things on earth, putting things down on earth. And Mars is at 2 degrees, which is half of, one of the 22, right? So until you move and gain that other 2, right? And ironically, 22 and 2, right? 22 Venus, 22 Jupiter, 22 Chiron. If you take that 2 of Mars and you add 22, you get 24. And that is your ascendant in this chart. That is in the sun decan. You have got Capricorn in the sun decan. We are on deck. After the Sagittarius new moon occurring tomorrow, we are on deck to go into solstice season in Capricorn. It is game on, people, and it is time. I speak this being a Cancerian and working through this Jupiterian energy myself, as far as it's in my 9th house. So mine is more academic and philosophy and spiritual related than it is down there in the lower 1 through 6 house. But I'm feeling this energy as well. And we must master and be masters of our emotional natures and harness them and heal any wounds or residue that's left there down at Chiron in the 4th. And know that you can. Know that there's energies available at this time. These energies are going to be here for a while. There have been grand trines in the sky for quite some time. They're a little loose in this chart, but we've got grand water trines on top of Venus trining Aries I am, who is cardinal fire, wanting to really fix this. And Aries doesn't like being in retrograde. I can tell you that right now. And Chiron certainly doesn't want to review. He just wants to move forward. But you can't. This is a time to fix some things, and the energy is right. I hope that helped you. And if you would like to take a closer look at your Chiron and any of these themes that might be coming up for you and you're identifying with them, I would love the opportunity to do that. I do have a website in my description, and you can go ahead and book directly from there. Blessed be over thee, and I hope you have a wonderful Sagittarius new moon. I am going to put a chart out showing where this is tomorrow, so you can take a peek at it and just see the highlights. I won't be doing a video, but I will be putting a chart, so stay tuned to that. Blessed be.